You think everything's fine, right? Well, I hate to break it to you, but she might already be planning her exit, and you don't even see it coming. In this video, I'm going to expose 7 sneaky signs she's emotionally checked out, and trust me, you'll want to catch them before it's too late. I'm not here to scare you, but to give you clarity. So, if you want to avoid being blindsided, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And hey, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? I want to know. Let's dive in. Sign 1. The shift in her future plans. Let me hit you with something that'll sting a little. When she stops making future plans with you, that's when the emotional distance begins. You remember those times when she'd say, "Let's try that new restaurant next weekend," or "We should plan a trip to Italy next summer." That was her way of imagining a future with you, something she was excited about. But now, you barely hear "we" anymore. It's all I statements. Suddenly, she says, "I'm thinking of going to that restaurant with my friends," or "I'll plan a trip when I have the time." The US in her vision of the future starts to fade, and the I becomes the focal point. Now don't fool yourself. It's not about being too busy or overwhelmed. It's about where her emotional energy is going. When someone is committed, they want to imagine the future together. But if she's already mentally rehearsing life without you, those plans with you vanish. The signs are there, but you just have to see them. So ask yourself this: when was the last time she made an us plan that felt real? Because by the time you notice this shift, she might have already checked out, and that's just the beginning. Sign 2. The subtle shift from we to I. This one's sneaky, and it'll hit you when you least expect it. It starts with a small shift in how she talks. You might not notice it at first, but once you do, you'll realize it's a huge red flag. Remember when she used to say, "When we buy a house, when we take that trip next year, we should start saving for retirement"? Those were clear signs she saw a future with you. But now suddenly it all "I when I move into my new place," or "I'm thinking of going to Europe by myself next summer." It's not just a grammatical slip. This shift is her subconscious pulling away. She's emotionally disconnecting from you, even if she hasn't fully realized it herself. And the worst part? She doesn't even have to say it out loud for you to notice. Her words start to tell a story that no longer includes you. It's subtle, almost unnoticeable, but it's a clear sign that she's mentally preparing for life without you. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. When was the last time you heard "we" compared to "I"? And what exactly does "I" mean? Because if she's not including you in her future, she's already planning a future without you. Sign 3. The new friends you'll never meet. Here's something that's probably happening right under your nose. She started hanging out with new people you've never heard of, and suddenly, you're never invited. At first, it seems harmless. She mentions grabbing drinks with Emma from yoga or a few colleagues from work. But here's the kicker. You've never met any of them, and you're not part of any of these outings. Now, let me make this clear. It's normal for couples to have separate friends. But here's the difference. In a healthy relationship, those new friends eventually become part of your circle too. You meet them, you hang out together, you bond over shared interests. But when she's actively keeping these new friends away from you, there's a deeper issue. Why is she keeping this new world of hers separate from you? Because these new friends don't know you. They don't know your relationship. They don't owe you anything. And that gives her the perfect cover to rewrite her story. Maybe she's telling them she's unhappy. Maybe she's even painting you as the villain. But you'll never know. So here's the question you need to ask. Why is she uncomfortable at the idea of you meeting her new friends? Because when you're being shut out from this part of her life, she's living a version of it that doesn't include you. Sign 4. The all-self. Here a sign that's hard to ignore. Suddenly she all about self. But guess what? You not a part of it. One day she lounging around in sweatpants, and the next she's hitting the gym 3 times a week, buying new clothes, and showing off a whole new look. Her hair is always freshly done, her nails are perfectly manicured, and you're not included in any of it. Now before you start thinking, it's just self-care, hear me out. People want to look good for themselves, sure, but in a committed relationship, when someone's excited about making changes, they usually want to share that with their partner. They want your opinion. They want you to join in on the journey. But when all the new outfits, new workouts, and new hairstyles are happening behind closed doors, it's a different story. I've been there myself. When I started paying more attention to my appearance in a relationship, it wasn't because I wanted to feel better for me. I wanted someone else to notice. And I bet you can guess who that someone else was. So here's the real question. Is she dressing up for you or for someone you haven't met yet? When improvement is happening in secret, the attention is clearly aimed elsewhere. Sign 5. The vague schedule and mysterious absences. You know those days when her schedule used to be crystal clear? She'd tell you exactly who she was meeting and when. I'm having dinner with Sarah at 6, or I'll be home by 9 after the team meeting. But suddenly, everything's vague. I have plans after work, or I'm meeting up with some people from the office. No details, no names, no real timeline. Now don't get me wrong, everyone gets busy. But when her schedule becomes consistently unclear, it's more than just life getting hectic. Healthy relationships don't need secrecy. If she had nothing to hide, she'd easily tell you who she's with and where she's going. But when you notice this change, it's like she's drawing invisible boundaries between you and the rest of her life. The vagueness is her way of giving herself plausible deniability. If you press for details, she can always say, "Why don't you trust me?" and turn the tables on you. So ask yourself, did her schedule really get more mysterious, or is she hiding something or someone? Because when the answers get murky, that's when you should start paying attention. Sign 6. The emotional wall. One of the hardest signs to spot is the emotional wall. Remember when she used to share everything with you? Her bad day at work, her excitement about a new project, her little victories? You were her safe place, but now, when you ask her how her day went, you get a flat. Fine. If you notice she's off, she'll brush it off with nothing, just tired. The worst part? It's not that she's stopped talking, it's that she's talking to someone else. Someone else is hearing her frustrations, her dreams, her fears, and it's not you anymore. I've been on both sides of this, pulling away emotionally when I was invested elsewhere and noticing the distance when I didn't realize it was happening. When the emotional connection fades, it's hard to get back. So ask yourself, when was the last time she really opened up to you? If her emotional world feels locked, it's probably because she's sharing it somewhere else. Sign 7. The energy drain. This sign is subtle, but it's one of the most heartbreaking. You start to notice that being around her feels draining. Conversations feel forced. Date nights feel like obligations. She's tired, yes, but it's not the kind of exhaustion from work or life. It's emotional fatigue. When someone's heart is invested elsewhere, they stop giving their best to their partner. You'll see it in the little things, the sighs, the lack of laughter, the disinterest. She seems relieved when you make plans without her. She finds excuses to stay in another room, or even when you're together, everything feels like pulling teeth. It's not that she's not tired, it's that she's exhausted by you. The energy she used to give you is now spent elsewhere, and what's left for you feels empty. So ask yourself, is she really exhausted? Or is she just drained by the relationship itself? Because when she's already checked out emotionally, you're no longer the one fueling her. See you in the next video.